One. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Dinner and a Game. Let me check mics before I do anything because I constantly mess this up. We have all sound. We have all the sounds. Goodness. Everything's working.
We did it.
Wait. Kicking the walls and knock on wood. I have wood paneling, so it's safe. All right.
Got a fence.
Got a fence. Yeah.
For you.
Gotcha. All right.
My desk is made of wood.
Welcome back to Dinner. Welcome back to Dinner and the Game, ladies and gentlemen. This is the show where we come online, we act ridiculous, we act foolish, just for your entertainment, and we are going to do that tonight by playing Dungeons and Dragons for you. Tonight is our continuing, ongoing campaign in a world that we're kind of making up as we go along, called the Kingdoms of Mist. In a world. But no, Kingdoms of Mist is a world that I made to replicate the movie Treasure Planet. So this movie had people being able to fly into space, but on like clipper ships in space. So it was really incredible. It was really wonderful. But they used tech, and I wanted to use magic. And I wanted this because there used to be a game called Spelljammer for D&D that I hope someday they'll bring back, but who knows. But it did the same thing. It was wonderful and amazing. So I made up this world, I created this thing, and we have been having many, many adventures in it. And I have been having some incredible adventures with these amazing people and amazing creators. So, would you folks care to introduce yourselves? First off, let's do it the other way tonight. Oh wait, Rob's not up. I forgot to turn Rob's camera on.
My camera's not on.
Hang on, I'll find you.
I exist between realms.
I exist between realms.
You are God. You hear the voice of a deity raining down upon you.
How?
I think it's just that is the ultimate deity voice right the fuck there.
Who the fuck is talking to me?
God, is that you?
Hi. Would you like some godly wrath?
It reminds me of this Eddie Izzard bit where he's doing God's voice, but God's voice is James Mason. It's like, why are you doing the James Mason voice? Well, my real voice is a bit weird.
I don't want to fool up.
All right, so, but we have with us tonight, we have with Milagros. Milagros, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. I have a 4-day weekend that starts now, technically, and
Glorious.
I'm so excited to not have to be running around.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I've got a lot of plans with like friends. I have some downtime in this weird like right before Thanksgiving break period because people usually leave campus early. So no one wants to make anything due like the 22nd to 24th because like no one's gonna be here.
Yep.
But I know how college works because I'm a first semester senior, and I know that the second we get back from break, it's just hell. So I'm trying to get ahead during this long weekend and do project proposals, outline finals, all that, because I have a trip that starts right after the semester ends, and I don't want to have to worry about anything once it's time. So I'm trying to be proactive.
Gotcha. Excellent. Wonderful. And I'm glad you're taking that type of proactivity because it makes sure that when you have your time off, you got shit to do but put up the feet and chill. Hopefully. Yeah. Well, thank you. And who are you playing tonight, Milagros?
I am playing Utopia Aster. She's in the trenches right now. She's technically on her first date, but also just saw Marcus naked. So that's fun. And also, there's another Kalistar here. There's a lot happening. Also, Grandpa threw up at a formal dinner. So like that's that. What? Like that's not
like let you get overwhelmed by the blinding power.
I'm not
of the
saying
creature that I saw.
I'm not saying it's not justified, but.
You didn't realize that's what's going on, and all you see is Grandpa collapse, wake up, and puke everywhere. I get it.
Which you've seen just when they go drinking, but that's different.
I don't drink.
I know. Neither one. I don't think either one. No, Rome drinks. That's right. So I say Shugas drinks.
That's bad.
All right. So thank you very much, Milagros, for the introductions. I really appreciate it. And we are going to move around the wheel to Sphinx. Sphinx, seems like we just spoke last night, as Milagros and I just spoke last night as well. Hope your day went well.
It did, actually. It was, work is work, but in the midst of that, I got myself a new bonsai, and it arrived on Monday, but had an issue where it arrived and the pot was broken on arrival. So I had to transfer it to a larger pot, which I was not happy about. But I did. There was some clean breaks, and a buddy of mine mentioned, like, hey, this is a good time to try kintsugi with that pot. For those of you who don't know what kintsugi is, it is pretty much a putting back together of a broken object using a bond with gold inside of it. And since my daughter loves to do resin projects, she already had some gold powder. I went and got some epoxy, mixed it up, and now I have this wonderful pot that I have redone.
Oh, wow! That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
And so, the kintsugi practice basically, like, it talks about not hiding the flaws, but embracing them as part of the thing and celebrating it, which I fucking love that idea because it applies to people too.
Yeah.
So I was really, really pleased about that. My bonsai's doing great, and yeah, I'm happy to be here tonight to continue this insanity.
All right, excellent. Thank you much. And who are you playing tonight, Sphinx?
In a world where one Kalistar is a bard and a sorcerer,
and a dad,
I'm playing and a dad. I'm playing Valestein O'Call, Kalistar bard and sorcerer.
Dun dun dun. Excellent. Thank you very much, sir.
He doesn't actually talk like that, but I wanted to do the one man, one desire,
and
that desire was to be a good dad.
Dun, dun, dun. And Rob, how are you doing this evening?
Doing pretty good.
Good. How is everything going over? How is everything going over on the lab?
It's going good. We had some pretty good games. We are getting deep into our Hack the Planet playthrough.
I got to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very fun. And yeah, mostly going well. We haven't been able to play with Ross because we've all had like really weird schedules, but.
And their Heart of the Unicorn is deep in production right now.
Yeah,
so he's probably been super busy.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, Heart of the Unicorn Studios are friends of the show. They put out some amazing GM-less RPG systems, and they are really doing a big production move then right now. They are They're building out their original game, Fall of Magic, with a new layout that Ross did. And they're building out their City of Winter game, which they're publishing out, which they did a Kickstarter for, which we backed. And I'm so looking forward to getting our copy. But Heart of the Unicorn Studios is a wonderful game studio, small press game studio, and they do incredible products. I can't spell heart for some reason, but I'm going to put their link up in chat as well. But if you want to follow the Lab, Experience of Gaming, or any of Rob's contents, I do believe everything is in your LinkedIn, Rob.
It is.
And that is in chat right now. And who are you playing tonight, Rob?
I am playing Aeom, who is a monk and now a level 2 fighter.
Dun dun dun.
Super excited to see how that goes.
Motherfucker's learning shit.
Motherfucker is learning shit, yo.
I can't wait till you actually want to hurt people. Like, it's fucked up to say, but at the end of the day, I already have the weapon that I'm gonna build for you in mind. So when you're ready to fucking hurt people, let me know, and we'll upgrade your hand wraps.
Upgrades, people, upgrades.
Exactly.
Upgrades!
And finally,
You'll be so happy.
when you can be new.
upgrades. But anyway, and finally we have RJ with us tonight. Unfortunately, real life comes first, and Rome has had some issues this evening. He's having to take the night off. Rome, we hope everything goes wonderful for you if you get a chance to watch, and we hope you have a good evening taking the night off. Handle your business. We love you. We'll be here for you next time. And RJ, though, you are the sole representative of the chaos that is obliviously adventurous.
I'm typically the person that's spewing anyways, so... RJ, tonight I'm playing Grompok. Play West Haven with Obliviously Adventurous. We are transitioning over to Twitch. Ron will probably smack me, but we are like 11 followers short of hitting affiliate. So if anybody out there can jump over to Obliviously Adventurous, we're not live right now, but a follow, it would be fantastic. We've been playing a lot of Satisfactory, which is basically a factory simulator, and Rome has downloaded far too many mods for it at this point. So it's insane amount of chaos that the mods have allowed him to make controlled chaos, but it's still chaos. We have a D&D show that is West Haven, where I play. We're level 18 now, high level characters. I play a barbarian over there, and it is just insane. We're approaching one of the final bosses, and then we've got 2 more after. I'm hoping to wrap the campaign up towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, and then we'll be rolling into the new campaign probably 2 to 3 weeks later.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much, sir. And finally, I am Ray. I am the founder of the Feast here at Dinner and a Game. At Dinner and a Game, we have...
that.
Huh?
Yeah, I really
I like that.
Yeah.
The founder of the Feast.
Yes. It especially
Like
works
that
well
is-
when you're all cannibals.
Okay.
I'm not seeing a problem.
But anyway, but if you want to follow our socials, we have them all up here. We have a number of things going on right now. First off, we are trying to hit 1,000 followers here on Twitch. Right now, we are sitting at 613, so we're not there yet, but we're trying to get there as soon as possible. When we get to 1,000 followers here on Twitch, we're going to be giving away... Oopsie. It didn't work.
Tell them what they've won, Ray.
Tell them what they won. Let me switch.
Big
screens.
ass holographic D&D Collector's
We're
Edition.
gonna,
Shit!
yes, we're going to be
my
giving
God.
away this box set, which is the D&D Collector's box set. It has the player's guide, it has the monstrous manual, it has a DMG, and it has a GM screen. Plus, comes in that wonderful, gorgeous black slip cover. Those books are actually foil covers, so they do not look like your standard D&D books. They actually have the glossy foil covers on them, so you will be able to tell them apart from other people's books at the game store if you choose to open the set, and you will never be able to mistake your books for anyone else's, and you won't have to write your name on the edge of the books to identify them. But we're going to be giving that. We're going to be giving that away when we hit 1,000 followers here on Twitch. or we're going to give you another set away when we hit 100 followers on our YouTube channel. And I think we're at 89 right now, so we're like 11 away. Because when we hit 100 followers on YouTube, we get to brand our YouTube channel, and it won't be the horrible garbledy-gook that the link is right now. So, if you can help us with that, we will bribe you with a box set of D&D books. So, please, go give us a follow on YouTube. Give us a follow here if you have not already. That way you will be entered in the contest to win this. All you have to do is follow. Nothing else is necessary. Speaking of things you don't have to do anything to do, except be here on the break. At our break, we're going to be giving away a mini, which is not coming up either.
Womp, womp,
Womp, womp, womp. I see why. It is A-okay. Because,
So, for those of you wondering, while he stalls over there,
I'm just stalling.
the minis are voted on in the Dinner and a Game Discord.
Mhm.
So he puts it up, asks which ones you guys would like, and you have the ability to go, ooh, I really like that one. Let's vote for that one. And chances are that'll probably be the one that gets picked. So definitely if you see something in the set that you like, that's the place to do it.
Yep.
And are you still stalling?
Nope,
Or did you
I got
get
it
that?
up. It's up.
Glorious.
But the big thing about it is I haven't been doing the Discord voting on this one yet, this time, because, only 3 people were really talking about it ever. So, but I've been going with the same set we've been doing, which was the Underdark set that I have from Archvillain Studios, which is an amazing producer of 3D mini files for production. This is the Dark Elf Adept. Now, he is a caster. You see he's got the staff in his hand. He's twirling his hands with heads. But that giant swirl of smoke is actually part of the mini. It prints out, it mounts on top of his hands and sits on them, and it is a giant special effect. And it's set up to where it sits on his hands, so you can not glue it on and take it off and not have it there in place. So it goes either way. It's really cool. So, but anyway, because I already have them printed out. So, but if you guys are here at break, we will do a contest at our break where we will give you a word to type into the chat. And when we get to break, when we go to break, when we come back from break, we will draw a winner based on everyone who puts their name into, or types that word into the chat when we give you the instructions at the beginning of break. We will close the drawings at the end of the break and then draw a winner, and I will send you that mini out. So, that is the last thing. And then there's one very, very last thing that we need to go over, and that is for our TikTok. Now, on TikTok, we're doing a contest. We've been doing a contest for a long time. We're giving away this. This is a fully 3D printed, 4-story tall, 11-inch tall, 9-inch wide tower that breaks down into components. You can see the lines on the 2 right and left sides. The walls break down into sections. The floors break apart into 4 sections. Everything breaks apart and comes apart, and you can store it in a box and take it with you. You'll have to paint it. It's primed white, but you'll have to paint it. But this is completely printed out. Comes with the staircases on the interior, but doesn't come with any furnishings. You will have this entire setup, which I've seen because people are sell this online. I've seen this going for $200 or $300 online. So if you guys want to win this, follow us over on TikTok. The links are in our link tree, and all you have to do is follow us there. And once we hit 1,000 there, you will be we will draw a winner for this, and we are at like 805 or 10 or something like that. So we're very close to that one being completed as well. So
Nice.
that is it. Oops. Tower, go away. So
I
all
don't
that
exist
is
again, right?
huh?
I
What?
don't exist again.
Oh yeah. Well, this no. It's just that you weren't here, so I just turned your camera off. Now you're back. I turned your camera back. You know what? Let's do something else real quick. Before we do anything else, let's jump over to the map screen and turn Rob's
Are we
camera
actually
on.
getting the new map?
We will be.
Map.
Oh my god, we're getting the new map?
We're getting a new map.
Holy shit.
It's been
like
3 whole
3
sessions
weeks.
since we've had a map.
Yeah, since I've been rolling dice on the same trolls' heads for the last 2 weeks.
All right.
Just throwing dice at them like, hey, look at that.
So we're going
It's
to go.
amazing.
Yeah, so we're gonna take off. We'll take up where we left off. You guys had been wrapping up the dinner with Lord and Lady Trask and his entourage. They had basically Marcus, who is a member of a group called the Emerald, which is a criminal syndicate running out of the capital city of Ayla.
It doesn't exist.
Well, it may still exist.
What used to be
the capital city of Ayla, which was taken over by Denzians from all the different realms outside of the Prime Material Plane. But Ayla is under siege, mainly from demons and devils, but also a whole bunch of other assorted creatures. And Marcus and the Emerald were trying to help our group get out of Ayla when they found their own way out of Ayla. And they summoned Marcus here because he owes them a boon, and they have the ability to magically summon him in order to discuss that boon payment. And Sphinx's character, Val, summoned Marcus with a tattoo that he has on himself that can summon him back to him. And Marcus and the Lord Trask discussed pretty much establishing trade relations, because Marcus and the Emerald fled Ayla, and we're going to the Barrier Isles, which is a group of isles on the southern hemisphere, to try and basically start up their lives again, because their entire city was in ruins. And they were talking about that. Marcus had just left when we cut out, or was just in the process of leaving, saying that he would be back in a few hours to talk to the Lord. A lot of other stuff had happened. Sphinx had discovered that Lord Trask was a Kalishtar. He had tried to actually had his what is it called, Sphinx? I forgot.
Quarry.
His quarry was actually not in him anymore. It had been removed from his family line, and it was trapped in a gem. And Sphinx tried to connect with it and discovered that this quarry was ancient and powerful and had been living for centuries inside this gem, and it nearly overwhelmed Val. And since Val was actually mind linked to Grandpa, it nearly fried Grandpa as well. But he found a lot of.
As a result, we got to meet my quarry's physical form too.
Yep.
Oh, that's true.
Yep. And so
my quarry's hot.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that happened last game. If you want to watch it, go to our YouTube link. It's going to be up. It's up there already, I think, and so you guys can watch the previous episode. But all that being said, when we wrapped up, I do believe that we were still in the dining room because Marcus had just left, and that's kind of where we called it.
Yeah.
So, as you're sitting there, Lord Lynn and Trask kind of looks over at you as Marcus leaves and says, and looks at you, Val, and he says, "You keep interesting company."
Not entirely by choice, my lord, but desperate times.
Very desperate times. But if we can make this happen, then we can. I mean, he says he still has an airship or two.
I believe him. He
says he's
very
going to have more
resourceful.
soon. I don't want to think about that.
No.
We, as I told you, we haven't seen even the airships that belong to the family that the transport company family that lives here. Their airships haven't even been back, and so we're trying to establish communications with them, and we're trying to find out what's going on. He says, but back to what we were discussing.
Yeah.
Before anything else, if you could go down and speak to the refugees and see if you can talk to them about organizing work crews. Let them know that they'll be going to the edge of the forest nearest the city, which you can actually literally see from the top of the walls. And he said, they will be cutting lumber to bring back to the mill, so that we can start creating materials to build shelters for them for the coming winter on the grounds that they're already occupying in the garden or in the park. He says, we will dedicate that entire parcel of land to providing them with housing and shelter. He says, provided that they are willing to go out and help us build out the structures for those. He says, so if you will do that before anything else, that would probably be that would be a huge boon to us. Yes.
I would be willing to go and do that.
Maybe you should
I'll go with
sit
him.
for a bit and relax.
I'll keep an eye on him. He'll be fine.
Okay. He says, well, either way, the thing I wanted to ask of you more than anything else. He says, as we've discussed in detail, the Dark Wood has taken over much of the Vale. From what I understand, whatever lives in the Dark Wood is coming back into whatever powers that were there before. And if we allow this to continue, the Darkwood may come all the way up to the city. And frankly, we have enough enemies. So what I would ask is if you can go and actually seek out the source of what is causing the Darkwood to expand. And I don't want to tell you to destroy it, because I do not know what it is yet. And I do not want to seek out another confrontation if I can avoid it. I have enough fronts tending to all my resources. He says, but whatever is pushing forth this darkness is pushing other things ahead of it. Smaller creatures, I think, like the trolls, who are attacking our people. And there is the disappearances, and we do not have any idea what's causing those. And at that moment, the dark-haired woman who was the one who's speaking about the necromancy earlier, Miss Zanastevia, she kind of leans forward and she says, I have used auguries. She says, and but I have been blocked.
What is this word?
Augury? I have used the mind's eye to try and stretch out my sight to look in the dark wood and find who is perpetrating these dark tasks. But I have been...
a word that I knew.
Oh, that is fine. And thank you for asking. It is always good to ask. She says, but I was blocked magically from seeing them. So whoever is doing this has skill in the arts. And they know that people are interested in what they're doing. So they will probably be expecting someone. And Lord Trask kind of looks over at you all and he says, I know that what we're asking is immense, considering what you've already been through. He says, but as I said before, we will provide homes for your people for as long as Trask stands. We will provide shelter for your people for as long as Trask stands. He says, we know what this could cost you. So we will take in your refugees as we have taken in all these others. He says, and we will protect them with everything we have as we do for our own citizens. They will become members of this community. He says, and all we ask is that you, well, it's not all we ask, it's what we ask is still incredible. But we ask that in order to help us protect these people, you find out what the source of this evil is. I'm sorry. I assume that this is another attack. My charge is to protect Trask and to protect this city and to protect people in it. And my people have gone missing. My children have gone missing.
It is no small task, yet I am compelled to accept because I cannot imagine what it is like to... Actually, no, I can't imagine what it is like to lose people that you care about to something unknown.
The city's children? Or your children?
No, the city's children. It's there are people in the city whose children have gone missing. There are farmers from the countryside whose children have gone missing. I have not had any... And his wife kind of like looks away a little bit and he says, I have not been blessed with children. He says, when I pass, the kingdom will fall to my brother.
And what happens to the glowing man upstairs?
The glowing man upstairs?
Your quarry, sir.
The quarry will pass. The quarry is the family's. He is our advisor. He is our benefactor, as it were. He possesses immense amounts of knowledge and no small amount of power on his own. He's just limited in. He is limited to that gem, and the area around the gem is the point of his influence.
But if I understand your kind, when you pass, he is no longer able to tether to anyone?
He is not tethered to anyone now. That is the difference between the quarry that we have for our family line and the quarry that is in Val's blood, that is tied to Mr. O'Call's blood. The quarry that's tied to Mr. O'Call's blood is in his. It passes from generation to generation, and if children are born in that generation, the spirit of that quarry is divided amongst those multiple children. So there is that division of essence. This is our family's quarry was separated from the original members of our family when they were brought over here. When they were brought here by the Mist Mother, the one member of my family that was originally brought over. And when that happened, well, it happened to all the original Kalishtar who were brought over. But when that happened, she managed to save one Kalishtar and save their quarry as well by imprisoning, for lack of a better word, the quarry within this gem. Since the quarry still existed, there is a tentative connection of my family to the quarry and it to us, but it is nothing like the bond that Val occupies with his quarry. I do not actually know what would happen if our bloodline ended.
That was my question. What happens to him when your bloodline ends?
We have no idea.
Hopefully you never have to find that answer.
Trust me.
All people are mortal.
He kind of chuckles. He says, trust me, my younger brother has enough Biblos that there will be no want for more generations.
That is good to know.
Good for you to know. A little bit disquieting to deal with when your brother is a political envoy and he ends up leaving women in a certain state wherever he goes to negotiate.
Yes, one can imagine.
Not exactly the... Anyway, family.
My father had a term for that. He called them Rolling Stones.
Well, your father was much politer than I am. But that is not neither here nor there. If you all would agree to this, then, of course, the city would be in your debt. I would be in your debt. If you wish to make Trask a permanent home, you will be granted an estate here, inside the city. He says, if you wish this to become a more permanent residence. He says, if you do not, then we will reward you as we can in kind. He says, we're obviously not a meager city. We obviously have resources. We will do our best to reward you as well as we can within the materials that we have available and the items that we have available to us. And he kind of nods over to Grandpa and he says, because, as I stated before, I was an adventurer before I was the Lord. And there are treasures not unsimilar to those that are still in my possession. Mine and my lady wife's.
My lord is most generous. Thank you.
He says, for my people, those are my memories of my bygone days as when I was in my youth. He says, but for my people, they are simple tools to make sure that they are safe.
I cannot speak for my colleagues, my companions, but I would be most interested in finding out the source of this malady myself. And I will turn to my companions. I would be most happy for the accompaniment.
Well, of course.
Not getting
Obviously not in a gown, but
No. You'd probably want to change out of that, dear.
yeah, I would hate to rip this beautiful gown.
And she's like,
Very
oh,
nice.
the tailor didn't make it for you properly. No, this is Lady Trask. The tailor didn't make it for you properly. And she's wearing, remember she said she was wearing that white gown she had on? And she kind of like puts her hand on her waist and she just goes, and you hear this popping noise and the bottom of the gown comes off and she's in there's these like solid white tights that she's in underneath it. And, you know, it rips off and she kind of like just flourishes it out and she throws it over her shoulders and she swings the gown, or the skirt of the gown around her shoulders and she clips it closed and it's a cape. Hanging down to almost back thigh.
That's practical.
Fashionable and functional. I like this.
She says, it helps. She says, you know, and if things... Trask is not exactly a metropolitan city, and sometimes people who come to dinner is not as polite as you all. And she says, and then you have to be ready. And she just like holds out her hand, and this, materializing out of silver light and air, this rapier disappears in her hand. And she kind of, and it looks like it's completely silvered. And she kind of just flourishes it in front of her, and she holds it up in the on guard position, and then she swipes down to ready, and it disappears from her hand again.
That is a most intriguing feat. That is lovely, miss.
She says, as my lord husband has stated, we weren't always Lord and Lady Trask. She says, I was once Cecivia, and he was once just Leonin. She says, but
People hunt trolls here.
for sport in the day. She says, it's a shame that they are... It's a shame that there are still things that have to be hunted in order to keep people safe. But they are far too challenging for the average hunter to go out and take down. And that's why adventurers still exist. Maybe someday we'll understand the will of the Mist Mother and why she brought all these people over, and then, but also brought in all these terrors. But until we do, there is adventure awaiting.
Life without struggle.
She says, I almost envy you. She says, but it is no longer proper for us to gallivant across the country.
Are you sure?
You're a lord and lady. You make the rules, do you not?
We make the rules, but at the same time, she kind of looks over. She walks over to her husband. She puts her hand on his elbow as he's standing there, and she says, "But at the same time, we've taken on willingly the responsibility of leading this town." He says, "His brother could have assumed the throne. He was willing, but the people requested that my husband take the throne, the ascendancy, when their father passed."
My lord is well loved.
And then kind of like, he almost blushes a little bit and he kind of looks away and he says, when you run around the countryside saving people from monsters, you tend to get a name.
Fair.
He says, so, all that aside, allow us, we will return you to your rooms. This has been an incredibly eventful but productive evening. He says, come tomorrow, you can start the day out making contact with the refugees and making sure that they understand the plan and that they're willing. And then once that's agreed to, I suggest you head back for the Okal estate, and you can make that your base of operations from exploring further. Because as I understand it, the Darkwood is on your borders, lady.
It is very, very close. Currently,
so you can make your own estate your launching point for your sorties out into the Darkwood.
That seems like a fine idea.
This is, other than that, we have much to discuss, my wife and I, and apparently a meeting in a few hours. So he
Good
says,
luck.
he kind of looks over and he says, "This is Barish, Marissa. Will you attend me?" And they kind of both nod, and they both stand up. And he looks to you, and he's like, "The guards will escort you out and take you back to your lodgings." He says, "Before you leave tomorrow, I will try and come by and wish you well."
Thank you.
He says, "Thank you. No, thank you all." And he goes walking back down that same hallway where his office is, and the rest of the people follow him. And one of the servants steps up and says, "My lords, my ladies, the carriage awaits."
Did Lady Trask go with him?
She's walking with him, but she's not. He's walking ahead with the rest of the other advisors. Well, he's talking animately with Lord Barris, and it looks like with Barris, I should say, and it looks like Zerastivia is kind of following behind, but she has some kind of little gem out, and her hand's kind of waving over it, and you can see that there's a swirling orange mist inside the gem that is moving in circles with the gestures of her hand.
I just kind of look after her for a moment, like not in like a lustful or lascivious way, but like very much like almost wistful.
You know that Zerastivia is the wizardess, and Ashivia is Lady Trask.
Yeah, I'm looking after Lady Trask.
Okay, all right, gotcha. And she kind of she's walking off, and she's taken off the cloak, and she's folded it over one arm. As you're walking, as you're kind of falling off, she kind of stops and turns, or looks over her shoulder, and she kind of looks at you and says, "Did you need something?"
No, I apologize, my lady. It's just you remind me of someone very dear to me, and I was having a bit of a moment. I apologize.
Oh, I wish I knew more. And at this point, she remember her hair was all slicked back and pulled back. She kind of absentmindedly, she kind of runs her finger through her hair and pushes her hair over her ears, and you notice for the first time she has slightly pointed ears.
Oh, nice. A childhood friend. Well, a bit more than a childhood friend. A childhood sweetheart, actually.
Oh.
Went off to join the army, and I have not seen her since.
The Alatras's armed forces are a wonderful place for people to find a start to their lives. Is she a member of the Navy or
the army? The army itself. Serving as an artificer.
Oh, so she's on the bombardier squad.
Very possibly. I knew that she was angling for that when last we spoke. That was several years ago.
She says, we don't get many visitors from the military aside from attachés to acquire ore and other likes. She says, but I do have some friends. Are you looking for her with all the chaos going on?
Yes, I would like to know that she's alive and safe.
I have some friends who I might be able to see if I can get more information for you. What was her name?
Her name is Ramira. She also answers to Rami. Tall, half-orc.
Do you remember where she's originally from?
She, it's Alatras, right?
Yeah, Latris is the planet. You can just name a city if you want to.
We're from the same city, so.
Okay. Were you from the capital?
Yeah,
Okay, so from Ayla. Gotcha.
from Ayla. She's from Ayla as well.
And she is an artificer. So that should be more than enough room for them to be able to try and discover where she is, especially as she is an artificer. They are not exactly common, so she should be well known if she is serving in those ranks.
Last my memory served, she's quite talented, so I would imagine she would have made some sort of name for herself by now.
Then I will look up the information. I can't guarantee I'll have it to you right away, but it should be relatively soon. Probably maybe within a few days.
You're most generous. I thank you. It would do me the world of good.
You have helped put my husband's mind at ease, which will help us put the city at ease. And for that, any price.
Thank you.
She nods to you, and she kind of just leans forward real quick and kisses you like on the cheek, and she says thank you. And then she spins and she walks back towards the office.
I'll kind of touch the spot where she kissed me.
It's
Like if Val's face could go red, or Val's face would go just like a little bit redder, and I will kind of like poke at my quarry. That just happened, right?
Quarry's like, yes, it happened, but just remember, she's a lady.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Aom's like whispering to Utopia and like pointing at Val.
Oh, Utopia's just like.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are escorted out of the dining hall, back through the main back through the main entryway, and out front where a carriage is waiting. You're ushered back down the block and around the corner and back to the inn, where you're all brought into the rooms. Camille, and as she gets back into the carriage with you guys, she kind of leans into you, Utopia, and she says, "Are all the dinner's gonna be like that?"
They're not supposed to be, but things with us tend to go a bit weird, so...
Hopefully we won't get any more naked men just apparating out of
Yes,
nowhere.
yes.
She says, I mean, if that's the type of thing that happens, it happens, but that was very odd.
Yes.
I didn't know that he would be in the middle of what he was in the middle of when I summoned him. So I didn't even, to be quite honest, I didn't know if he was still alive or not.
Yes, we weren't
So
sure about that.
He did remark when you were leaving last time you saw him, he did remark that if he were to be dead, that your brand would not function.
Right.
So the simple fact that it worked meant he was alive.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
So, I do want to state that instead of running with the carriage, I did walk back.
Okay.
And I actually will choose the detour down to the camp to try and find the patron that I spoke with earlier.
Okay. You saw what tent she went into and everything like that. What'd you say, Rob?
I've gone with Grandpa.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Grandpa Grandpa actually literally ran alongside the carriage rather than ride inside of it.
Yeah.
And once again, Rome climbs up onto the buckboard with the driver again because he doesn't want to be inside the carriage either.
No.
How fast is Grandpa moving after all the...
I'm just walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's...
Like, I kept up with the carriage on the way over there, but, like, after the mental shit that Grandpa's gone through, he just needed a fucking minute.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
fucking minute.
Like, not
fair.
even just a minute, but a fucking minute.
Yeah. A fucking minute.
Aom's being a little bit of an ass and just sort of, like, running around Grandpa, just like...
Too much energy, not enough what to do.
Describes Aom perfectly.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right,
If
so
you have that much energy, you are training with me in the morning.
I've been waiting.
So, you guys are sitting there and you're kind of moving through the city. It's in the evening, but it's not full dark. Okay? And so you're kind of moving through the city, making your way to the camp. There's not a lot of motion, there's not a lot of sound, and there's definitely not a lot of people out on the streets. You get to the camp, and it looks like everyone's pretty much settling in for the evening. You see that they've served a meal once again, but they have not gotten to the point where everyone's turned in. So there's still some people out and about in the campgrounds themselves. Grumbach, do you go straight for the tent the old lady was staying in?
Yeah, I want to speak to her, and then also with the head priestess lady that was helping. So those are my two destinations while here.
Okay, all right. So you, the tent was near the entrance to the park, so that was that'd be the easiest first stop. You come to the tent, and there's what do? Just slap on the outside of the tent to let someone know you're there?
I mean, I would assume that I could see where the supports are for the tent.
Yep.
And I'm gonna knock on the wood of the support.
Gotcha. And remember, this is a multi-person tent, so it's not like a little two-man pup tent. This is a very large tent structure designed to house multiple people inside. And so you knock on the tent, and the door flaps open, and you see another a middle-aged woman. She kind of like she's looking at the flap, and she's in just regular clothes and everything like that, but she's got her hair has been like put up into a sleeping cap, and she kind of like looks at you. She comes out the tent and she's like, "It's getting late. What are you?" And she's like talking about you, like just below your chest. And she's getting late. Oh,
Hi.
Right. No, it's okay. I remember you. You were here yesterday.
It was more like a few hours ago, but yes.
Sorry, a few hours ago. That was my bad. She says, yes. she kind of adjusts her jazz and says, yes. What do you want?
Is there not a matron, an elderly woman who stays in this tent?
There's a couple. They kind
I
of
did
group us
not
all
ask her
together. She's like,
the one who had the farm by the Astor estate.
Oh, Maribel.
Maribel.
She says, yeah, no, she's just laying down. She ate well. She's feeling a bit of a nappish. This is she kind of looks over her shoulder, and she says, a moment, let me make sure she knows someone's here to see her. And she kind of like lets the tent flap down. She comes back, and then you hear it's like voices from the tent, kind of muffled. It's Maribel, that giant's here to see you again. Yeah, the one you ate with. And she says, see if he's got any more of that meat. And a few minutes later, the tent flap opens up, and the matronly old lady is kind of standing there, and she looks up at you, and she says, and, hello again.
Hi.
What can I do for you?
I figured you would probably be the best person to talk to. So...
That's usually the case, but what's this particular discussion about?
I am getting to that.
I'm old and don't have much time left.
I love her. I love her so much.
The amount of time left is not going to change determined on this conversation.
I can see this argument could take all the time I had left. Please continue.
Probably could. So, as I was attempting to say...
She goes like this. See, it could happen at any moment.
I love her. I love her so much. Protect Maribel at all.
So, anyway...
She's looking at you, but she's like half grinning as she looks up at you.
My companions and I just came from a meal with Lord Trask. And in speaking with him, he is willing to help you build homes down in this park and allot this park to you and the refugees if you are willing to help fell the timber and transport the timber to the mill. He is willing to have people help you build homes so that you will not freeze this winter.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. I'll do what I can to help with the construction. My hip's bad, my shoulders are bad. I have arthritis.
I was more hoping that you could help motivate the other people. I do not expect you to do the work yourself.
Oh, thank God.
We do not make our great mothers carry timber. We are not barbarians.
She kind of looks you up and down. Okay, I believe you.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Bro, I'm fucking dying over here.
She kind of looks. She looks over. She looks
So
over.
like slow stand, just like.
She kind of looks around you at Aeom.
You say so.
And she says, "So, what? So, what do you? Why come to me? I'm not exactly."
You were the only person that I talked to.
Hmm.
And you're old. That's important in his culture.
Oh. Well, it should be important in
has a
every
point.
culture. She says, "But if you want to speak to someone about this, you're probably going to want to speak to the I don't know what they call her, the priestess,
The one in the dark robes.
Yes, the dark blue robes. Yeah, she's
She can do so much, but you know these people, which is why I came to you.
I know some of them. I mean, we all come from different locations, and you know, I understand what you're trying to say. I'll talk to people, and I'll see what I can do about making sure everyone understands. So, what are we going to be doing? Just cutting wood and building the houses, and is the materials going to be provided? Then, I mean,
Well, you will have to help take the lumber down and move it to the mill, and then at the mill it will be processed into lumber that you can use to build homes, and the people in the city will help you. They just do not apparently have all of the manpower to do it themselves.
well, that's understandable. She says, and it's
But
reasonable.
you would be brought into the city and considered part of the city, not just refugees from afar.
I mean, we always talked about selling the farm and moving into town.
And we are going to get your farm harvested as well.
That's amazing. I mean, you do know there's trolls, right?
We will handle the trolls.
I trust you. You're actually taller than the trolls. She says, I will, come the morning, I will begin talking to people. Most everyone's settling in for the evening now, so it's a little late for that. He says, but you should definitely talk to the mother. And make sure that she can help with this.
And she's in that tent, correct?
I assume so, because that's the tent all the other people in the robes go into?
That is what I thought, but I didn't know if you knew.
Yeah, no, that's just my assumption.
Well, I appreciate your time, dear matron.
She kind of as you, after you get done bowing, she kind of like steps up to you, and she just like kind of like pretty much throws her arms around your hips and tries to give you a hug. She can't get her hands together, of course, but you know she just says,
Grandpa, like kind of awkwardly like pats her head.
she kind of like does that whole slaps you on the back a couple of times, and she like steps back from you, and she says, I didn't know what to expect. You're the first one of your kind I've ever met.
We are not as brutish as most people give us credit for.
Oh, well.
Now, when it comes to war, you will find none better than our clan. But war does not come often, and we are quite peaceful.
She says, that's all wonderful to know. But if you ever need anything that I can provide, warm bed, good meal, good conversation. He says, apparently I live here now. Thanks to you.
Stories are always welcome.
And fires will always be warm. He says,
Good night.
Good night. And she kind of like shuffles back into the tent.
As we're walking away, I want to say it just loud enough that she can hear. I'm like, taller, but not nearly as many arms.
You only need 2, Ale.
I don't know. That 5th arm seems coming real handy.
How would you wear armor with this arm coming out of your back?
Yeah.
Like, that just... It would be uncomfortable. How do you sleep?
Oh, true.
But you
Definitely
can
belly
scratch your butt like no one's business.
Wow. Upsides and downsides.
I'm not going to make that comment.
Because remember, that 5th arm literally grew out of the middle of his back.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
You definitely talk about a reach around.
No! Absolutely not!
Good night, everybody.
And and he'll see himself out, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyways, you should probably talk to the priestess.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
likes
I
you
guess.
better than she likes me.
I don't know if she likes me. Hard to tell. But I'll talk to her. I find her company interesting and invigorating.
It is enlightening, I told you.
Absolutely. You were right, Grandpa.
I love
Oddly
what's
enough.
together.
You were right. You were right about the witch. Wow. Okay, that's cool.
So you go walking up to the tent. As you're walking up to the tent, there is a little bit of commotion inside the tent, and there is like the tent flap flips up, and that gnome that you were speaking to earlier kind of comes striding out of the tent, and he says, I understand that, but we're going to need more food. Whatever we got today was wonderful, but we can't be setting the expectations like that. And as he turns around, he sees you, and he says, oh, you're back.
Hello, little one.
Good day. Again. Good evening,
It is
I guess now. How can I help you?
We were here to talk to the High Priestess. We have good news.
Oh!
He is here to talk to the priestess.
Oh, tickle, tickle. All right.
What?
Someone said tickle, tickle in chat. So, all right. Fine. No, fine. Let me go and see what she's up to. It's bedtime, you know. And he turns around and he walks back into the tent. Because he's a gnome, the tent flap barely moves. So he goes walking into the tent.
Like we don't know what bedtime is.
So my question is, like, the sun below the horizon at this point?
It is on the horizon, so it's doing the whole dark shadows and everything like that. The shadows have gotten long. The temperature is definitely dropped by a good 15 degrees.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of like getting on that time where the chill starts to set in because it is fall, and temperatures start to really drop at night. You can tell everyone's like in the tents bundling up and everything like that and just trying to get comfortable because you don't want to come out from under the covers once you get in them when you're sleeping in a tent in this type of weather.
Talk about early to bed.
Yep. Early to
Right,
bed
I was
because
about to say, if it's like around our time of fall, it's like 5 p.m.
it's 5 or 6 p.m. Well, they don't
5
have
p.m.
daylight.
hits and they're like, fuck it, the day's over, I'm done.
Well, no, their big thing is they don't have daylight savings time, so it's just sunset. So, but yeah, so they go through, and after a few moments, the tent flap opens up fully, and that tall, elegant woman is standing there. She is not in the blue robes. She is in a white sleeping shift that hangs down to the floor. And she kind of opens the door and she looks down at you, and she looks up at Grandpa, and she says, "I understand you had good news."
Yeah, we recently had a dinner with Lord Trask, like literally 5 minutes ago. And he said that we have to round up the townsfolk to start doing work to improve your houses here. You're not going to be sleeping in tents anymore.
It's like, and the people of the city are going to build us homes?
Well, it's kind of like a joint effort. He can only spare so many people, and you're a readily available workforce.
There is a lot of disquiet and discontent that is beginning now, since people are sitting idly with nothing to do, and they're getting time to think about what their situation is with the cold coming and with the winter coming. So there is a lot of apprehension.
Lord Trask seems well aware of that, so he wants to address the problem as soon as possible, especially with winter coming.
That is wise of him, and I appreciate it. He says, what is going to be required? What do I need to prepare for?
As many able-bodied people as you can gather, ones who would be able to do the work, to do the wood cutting and the building, especially if you have a craftsman. It would be highly valued.
He says, we have not done an assessment of skills, which is something that we should have thought of, but we were just more worried about keeping everyone fed and sheltered, because the refugees coming in have slowed to a trickle now. So now that we're no longer reeling from the initial impacts, we can do a more fair assessment of how many people we have here. I mean, it's been months. We should be able to get some kind of assessment of what type of skills we have available. But I know we don't have tools, and we don't have tools. We don't have access to like a lumber mill. Is that all going to be provided?
I believe tools and everything will be provided. Yes.
I'm sure we could put together enough willing bodies and able hands and skilled skills in order to be able to build here. The only thing is the time that we need to make sure that we can get as many structures built as possible. I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of people here, and we don't have much time before winter.
Yes, time is of the essence.
Which is very well. I will begin making organizing things in the AM. I'm assuming that Lord Trask will send us a representative down to start getting everything into alignment and letting us know where things need to go.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
by shortly.
Are we going to do this alone?
No. There will be some.
She literally gives a little gasp of relief, and she says, "I understand that Lord Trask's men are divided heavily in defending different areas from different threats, but the woods themselves are threat enough to make me worry about the safety of the people here. And I'm happy to hear that we're going to have some form of protection. Even going down to the woods that are nearby is a risk now." She says most of these refugees are people who own farms and settlements outside of the city's direct protection, outside of the side of the walls. And it seems like no one was safe from this. So, that is very good news, and I am very, very grateful. I don't know how we could ever repay you, but I know that these times are not the end, but only the beginning of these trials. And I understand that you were chosen by the Mist Mother. All of you were chosen by the Mist Mother, as we were chosen by the Dark Mother.
The Night Mother.
The Night Mother. Thank you very much. I always write down the Dark Mother, but it's the Night Mother. So she says, we were chosen by the Night Mother. She says, if you need help, we do have people who are willing and able to help you.
I appreciate the offer. And how would we call for such help?
She says, we will be here.
So, there is something that you can do that would kill one of the birds that you have stones for.
And what is that?
We will be probably tomorrow or the next day departing for the Astor estate. Now in that estate we have a surplus of probably 500 to 600 pounds worth of fresh meat.
Amazing.
The gnome mentioned that food was still going to be an issue.
And that is a lot of food.
And it is already being salted and cured, so it is...
That is amazing.
If you have the ability, you can follow us up. You will have to make your way back to town. But you can come back to town with a good deal of food for these people.
She says, then we will make arrangements. She says, we have a small bit of funds. We may be able to rent a wagon. And we can get...
We came in with a wagon. That you would be able to use.
Then all we need to do is rent a team. I don't think anyone brought any animals with them, so we do not have the ability. We will find a way. But yes, we will be ready. Just let us know when you're leaving.
It will be probably in 2 days.
Says, then we will make arrangements for it. Thank you. She says, may the Night Mother give you strength.
And may the Mist Mother give you peace.
She smiles and nods deeply.
Teo bows as well.
So everyone else arrives back at the Swan, which is the inn you're all staying at. As you're getting out of the carriage, Camille kind of like looks at you two, and she says, "So, you're going into the dark wood."
Sounds about right.
I don't think that this is going to be very helpful if I'm traipsing around in the woods. She kind of like gestures to... Says,
I will just look at Utopia.
She says...
Well, I mean... You look lovely, but you're... Yes, you're right.
She says... She kind of looks at you both and she says, I will tell you this. I am terrified. I have never done anything like this. Other than a few dates that were a little more than handsy, I've never gotten into many fights. But I know what it is, or I have an estimate of what it would be to serve you. And she looks at you, Utopia. And from what I've seen you all do already, while quipping jokes, I know that the life you face is terrifying.
The jokes help make it less so.
Yes, and the friends.
Because I don't know what help I could be in a fight. But if I can make this burden easier for you all, then I will gladly accompany you and do what I can. I can cook meals. I can attend to your gear. I can make sure that you don't want for any basic function that I can provide. And hard pressed, I can shoot a bow. I'm not saying that I'll hit every time, but I can fire a bow. He says, but other than that, I will leave it up to you to decide what happens next. And she kind of like looks at both of you and says, but other than that, I had an absolutely amazing time.
Oh, good.
And she goes up to you, Val, and she kind of looks at you and she says, thank you for the opportunities to have these experiences. And she like hugs you very tightly.
Oh, it's you're welcome.
And she kind of like breaks away from you, and she walks over to you, Utopia, and she kind of looks at you, and she looks at your face, and she kind of scrutinizes you for a second, and she says, and you. Perhaps, maybe, you can show me how to defend myself. And she kind of says, because if I'm going to take up this life, I don't just want to be a burden. But I understand that what you all do is probably a bit beyond me at this point. But I am willing to learn.
Oh, of course. Stop. Yes, but I would never consider you a burden. You're so good at everything.
You haven't seen me shoot a bow yet. She says, in the meantime, and she kind of like looks down at her outfit. She's like, I look amazing. And she like does a little spin, and that little flare skirt she has that kind of goes over the back of the hangs the back of the pants, that just kind of flares out. And she kind of like, and as she comes out of the spin, she like stumbles a little bit, and she kind of falls into you, Utopia. And she leans on your chest as she falls into you, and she kind of like looks up at you and she smiles, and she like just fast as lightning, she gives you a little peck on the cheek, and then she kind of like says, it was a very fun evening. And she kind of like pushes off of you and she goes, I'm sure you have much to discuss and prepare for. I'm going to go see if the children have destroyed the entire hotel. And she spins on a heel and she starts walking back towards the doors to the inn. And as she does so, she just, as she's walking in, she just see this like half skips once, and then she like kind of settles herself back down. She starts just walking again.
I will just casually go stand next to Utopia, just kind of watching Camille walk in, and then I'll kind of lean to her. So should I start planning the wedding now? She's a lovely girl. You could do a lot worse. And I like her too.
Good.
So, what colors are you thinking for the occasion? We can start thinking about this now. I mean, we can even like get her. She said she has some skill with the bow. We could get the bow in those colors, and the kind of, you know, we'll talk some more about it.
I like what you're thinking.
Yeah. And I just kind of like gently elbow her before I put an arm around her. Proud of you, kiddo.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time, but you know, you've been through a lot and you've handled it as best as you can, and it's probably going to be some more ridiculousness before any of this is over. But as your dad, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So I suppose we should get out of these I guess fine clothes and get into our normal whatever and start preparing for this trip. Yeah. Hopefully Inari is still in one piece. I'll start
Right.
upstairs.
So as you come into the hotel, as you walk into the main lobby, you see Camille. You remember that little sitting area that I told you was off to the side that was right by the restaurant? Camille's over in that area, and you can see that there are kids all over the couches and everything like that. And they're jumping and screaming and yelling, and someone gave them a bunch of basically wooden balls, you know what I mean?
Oh no.
And blocks and stuff. And the kids are basically throwing them at each other, hiding behind the chairs and couches, and there's two clear lines of deployment. And it's like two armies of children are having a giant fight from one end of the living room and the other. You see that the desk clerk is over there, the two bellboys are over there, and Camille is over there trying to round them up.
I'm going to kind of go stand next to Camille, and I'm going to just kind of cast dancing lights to try and get the children's attention.
Camille's got one kid under each arm, and her hair is already completely out of place. She's like her blouse has been pulled out, kind of like crooked, because one of the kids is like trying to climb up the side of her as she's trying to hold them under the arm, and she's like, "Barry, Larry, Nisi, stop it! Put those down right now!" He's like, "Felton, get your brother! He's chewing on the furniture." And the bellhops are like, "Okay, they're Lord Trask's guests. They're Lord Trask's guests." And he goes like wading in to try and grab a kid, and he gets like just totally pelted with blocks and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
And he's like just like backs out. And so you guys are sitting there trying to get this chaos rounded up. And it takes you the better part of like 20 minutes. Even with you bring up the dancing lights, and the kids like freeze for a second, and they look up at them. And one of the oldest kids says, "Each one you hits 10 points." And all the blocks in the wood, and they're going to start sailing up in your dancing lights, and then raining back down onto the ground all over the place as kids mad scramble to get more blocks to throw at the dancing lights.
Oh boy.
Do I walk in at this point?
Oh, please.
You can. Yes, absolutely.
So I'm literally going to walk in, see the craziness, and just in a booming voice, "Silence!" and just roar, basically at everybody.
Naomi had already picked up blocks, and he's already putting them back down.
Ah, damn.
So as you walk up to the edge of the battle zone, you roar. Everything goes quiet, and all the kids look at you. And there's
Now, you are not taking advantage of the high ground up there at all.
Grandpa, don't help. Grandpa, don't help. Grandpa, don't help.
These are future soldiers. They are at war.
But we're trying to get them calm so they can go to bed. It is their bedtime. They need to go
But
to sleep.
before you end any training course, you must point out what they have done wrong.
And one of the little boys comes running up to you, Grandpa, and he says, "If you stand on the back of the couch, you're easier to hit."
That's why you don't stand on the back of the couch. You hide behind it and return fire from cover.
That's what I was doing. But you said to take the high ground, and there's no high ground.
I'm gonna look over at the table and everything else that's potential high ground with things that can be stacked in front of it. You still have a lot to learn, little one.
It's like, Fine, show me. And he holds out a block.
Grandpa is the high ground. He's like 9 feet tall. Like, he is his own high ground.
You're not wrong.
Literally.
So how long is Grandpa going to spend training children to fight block wars?
Until I get yelled at for it.
You're 9 feet tall.
Right. Like,
we'd
have to stack on top of each other.
All of
like
the kids go to sleep in the middle of war.
I know, it's like you let them go until they run out of gas, which is probably another 45 minutes or so.
They're being supervised at this point. They're not actually going to hurt each other at this point. They're kids. Let them be kids.
So after about another 30, 45 minutes, half your army, they've gone from hiding behind the couches to sleeping behind the couches. And once the littler, more rambunctious ones are passing out, the older ones kind of slow down. And so after a while, people start getting dragged off and drift off the bed. People come down and start to like scooping kids up and taking them upstairs.
I'll scoop a couple of them as well.
Yeah, you told me it's like stacking kids.
Stacking kids.
Into arms so you can carry more of them.
The older the kid who got the most hits in the war and performed the best, I'm giving him a small claw.
A claw?
Oh
I was going to say, just say dagger. Just say dagger and make it terrifying.
Wait.
Like,
What's that you've got?
about that? You fought well, little one. Here is your reward.
He takes the dragon claw, and he's like half in and out of consciousness. He looks at the dragon claw, and he turns around and looks at all the other kids who are sitting there, kind of still half awake. And he goes, and he just holds the dragon claw up.
Everybody roars.
Well, yeah, roars in that, kids who've been up 4 hours past their bedtime playing hard roar, dude.
So basically, we've reenacted Lord of the Flies without all the death. Without all the death.
But with the supervision.
That fucking book, man.
All right. So it's 3 till 9. We should probably take a break, and everybody know what that means.
That's right.
It is time for the giveaway. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start the giveaway now, and it should be starting any second now. And it's going to make the announcement in the giveaway announcement on the thing. There it is. You have to type the word !raffle into chat. Put that word into chat, and when we come back from break, which will be in 10 minutes, ! Raffle. And when we put a break in between 10 minutes, we will draw the winner for the giveaway mini, which is... Let's see if it'll work. It doesn't work, because it never wants to work. Which is this mini right here. It's called the Dark Elf Adept. It is from the Arch Villain mini line. They sell files for 3D printing minis. It comes with that swirl of magical energy above it that you can either put on the mini or you can take off the mini. It doesn't have to stay in place. But it is a caster. It can be a dark elf, but it can be any other type of elf you like as well. It's an incredible pose. It's an incredibly detailed mini. It'll print out looking literally like that, except it's going to be 32 millimeters, so it's about that tall. And you will get that. The winner will get that sent to them if they win when we come back from break. So make sure you put !raffle into chat to be entered to win. We are going to go ahead and take our break. It is 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. We will be back in 10 minutes in order to give us time to get drinks and get ourselves shishimitated. And we will see you guys in 10 minutes where we will draw the winner for the raffle, and we will continue with Kingdoms of Mists. See you in 10 minutes.
and my camera seems to have frozen.
He's frozen. Ladies and gentlemen, we were coming back, but now technical issues are making things weird. He's coming back. Sphinx is coming back to join us again. Uh-oh, we're having technical issues. Technical issues.
No camera.
No camera, no connection. No camera, no nothing. I think he might be having trouble with his camera coming into his computer. Let me hang up on him real quick. Oh, I just hung up the entire call. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I just hung up on everybody. Alright, there we are back.
Oh, there we go.
Sphinx is still out there.
No Sphinx, no Ray.
Pop out.
Okay, who wants to DM?
Who wants to DM?
Because it's not
Well,
gonna be
that's a
me.
lot of stuff
Milagros
going
is
on
taking
there.
over. Milagros
No.
is running the games from now on.
I mean, I'll throw us into a fight until Ray gets his shit together. Like, we've already started.
Just immediately, let's return to the block wars and
Yeah.
have Grandpa organize all the kids.
No, straight up. Like,
I would listen to that for a hot minute.
Grandpa said we were doing training in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
start
right, like,
training.
let's go.
Grandpa and you are doing training in the morning. That's gonna
Yeah,
go
exactly.
great. Everyone's
Yeah,
gonna
just
be fine
aside,
there.
Grandpa just waking everyone up bright and early and being like, all right, let's get this
No.
bread.
it's just AO.
Just look at the favoritism being shown here.
Yep.
Just Aeon. What if everyone else wants to train? What if everyone else wants the benefit of your knowledge and your skills?
There's a reason for it, sir.
Oh,
There's a reason for it and everything else.
Aom shown an interest in Aom is now a fighter.
that's right.
So Aeon is
Aeon
a
learned some
viable
new
target.
shit. So AO needs to learn some new shit.
Sorry, folks, we're still fixing this, and Sphinx is still having connection issues.
Oh,
So
I love that.
what's that?
What RJ posted in chat.
In the player chat, it's none of Ray's
Yeah.
business.
You know, this
Like,
is not.
there's a reason for most of the things that I decide to do or
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The big thing with the whole thing you guys got going on with the player chat is that it's not a situation. It's like, if you guys are talking about anything that is affecting the game, it's not affecting the game because you're not doing it in chat with me in there.
Oh no, it's more just like a thing between me and RJ.
No, I let him know what's coming so that he can prepare mentally for the RP that's coming.
Period. Let's
There
go.
he goes, and then we fix RJ. All the cams are
Oh,
fixing
Sphinx,
up.
what are you eating?
Food.
Steak and mashed
Ooh.
potatoes
Oh,
Ooh.
meat and potatoes in it up.
and some steamed broccoli.
Period.
That is it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, dinner in game. The break music is still going. Oh, I know why the break music is still going. It'll cut out in a minute because I don't have this muted. That's muted. And that's
I
muted.
mean,
Okay,
I've got the
we're good.
really peaceful map music in the back of my
Yeah, the
head.
map music. This is the conversation music going in the background. It's okay. Everything's okay with that. That's what's playing through our through Foundry. Dun dun dun. Tempting Secrets by. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Hi. Let's go ahead and draw the winner, shall we? Does that sound like a plan? Alrighty, so let's go ahead. Everyone who has wanted to has put the exclamation point raffle into chat. Correct. I'm going to count back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. The entries are now closed. We will now pick our winner. Drum roll. Oh,
Bro? Oh.
my wife won.
Oh!
Oh.
So she's right in the other room.
Perfect.
Yes.
No mail.
There you go. My wonderful wife has won a mini. I don't know why she wants a mini because she has the minis already.
She wants you to bring them to her room.
There you go.
I will bring her. I'm going to pick another winner.
It's like a request.
My wife still gets a
Yeah.
mini. I will still give her a mini because I know why she does this. She wants me to paint the mini because I always say I'm going to paint
Oh,
the minis and I
okay.
never paint the minis. There we go. So, and yes, my wife will still get a mini. But, the storm is here. Circle DM, Sphinx Akasha, Valestino Ka, you are the winner of the mini tonight. So, since they didn't pick up your package, since the post office didn't pick up your package, and I still haven't, I'm gonna run down there tomorrow and pick it up. I'm just gonna open up the package and stuff the other mini in there too.
I'm here for it.
All right, guys. So
I love it.
We will be doing another drawing next week for the next two shows, and I am going to put up the picture of all the minis we're going to be drawing from. I think I'm going to keep drawing from this group probably for the rest of this month, because I think we only have 4 shows left in this month, because we're going to be taking the week of Thanksgiving off, and so we're not going to have any shows on Thanksgiving. I might be doing some stuff individually, but we're not going to have any shows. So we'll be doing the rest of this group of minis for the rest of this week. Go to join our Discord if you want to vote on which minis we give away. The only minis I cannot give away are the God minis. And the God minis are these 2 huge minis, which are representations of Lolth. And they are bigger than my printer can handle. The parts are too big for me to print on my tiny ass little resin printer. So those are the only 2 I can't give away, and you'll see what they are if you go to the Discord and you look at the picture for the minis. You'll see which ones I'm talking about. They're obvious. They're in the background. They both stand about this tall when they're assembled, and they're fucking gorgeous, but I do not have the ability to print those. And those minis would probably retail for like close to $100. Those things are insane. But everything else is fair game. And you guys can nominate the minis as you want to, vote on them as you wish, and we will put those up in Discord. The picture has the names of all the minis on it, so all you gotta do is put the name of the mini in to vote for it, and we will have that up in there. And so,
where in the Discord is this picture?
Oh, I haven't put it up yet. You want me to put it? Okay, Give me a second. I'll put the picture up into. Where should I put it up? We have a crafts one. D&G Crafters. I'll put it in there. How's that?
Yeah.
Oh wow, the rain is now coming down in sheets.
Ooh.
I can hear it.
I do miss
roof.
a good southern rain.
Oh, this is a norther that blew into North Texas. So this is one of those things where this could go very bad. You remember last time when I had to actually stop the stream because we had to go
there was
high?
like a tornado.
Yeah. A tornado landed within a mile of my house. This is the type of situation we're in again, because a norther has blown in, and it is going to attempt to do its worst. And the picture is now up in the Dagger-Crafters channel in our Discord, and it is up there, and the picture has names on it. And like I said, the one in the right corner and the right corner and left corner, those are the big ones. I can't print those out because there's the pieces are just too large for my printer's platform. I'm getting another larger format resin printer, and I will be able to print those out eventually, but I can't print those out. But all the other minis are open, and I've printed out some of those, and they're gorgeous. These are some of the most amazing sculpts you will ever see. They're absolutely amazing. But you guys go ahead, and if you want to take a look at that and vote on that, join our Discord and go look at the picture and vote on the minis you want to see in there. You can just go to the Dagger Crafters group and just vote on them there. All right, so in the meantime, back to where we were. The war for conquest of the hotel lobby has been settled. The victor has been awarded his prize, a dragon's claw, and then you have carried the losers up to bed as they are completely unconscious. When you guys get up there, the kids are all stuffed away in their beds. Everyone else is going to their rooms to get some rest. Is anyone doing anything else this evening? All right. Everyone settles into a nice, peaceful night of sleep. The dawn comes, of course, way too early. Utopia, you're woken up to the sounds of someone moving around in your room.
Okay.
So as you sit up and kind of blurrily rub your eyes and everything like that, you see Camille is in your room. She's in her normal clothes. You see that your armor has been polished and it is sitting up in a chair beside the bed, along with your clothes, an outfit that's been laid out for you for the day to go wear underneath your armor. She has packed up your travel bag, your backpack with all your stuff in it, has been neatly packed and arrayed in it. She kind of looks over and says, "Oh, good morning, milady." She says, "I sent everything out to wash earlier this morning, so everything's been returned. I've packed up your travel bag." She says, "I managed to ask them for some advice. I hope you don't mind. I'm polishing the armor because I've kind of never done that before. But turns out it's just like silverware. So I polished your armor." She says, I also got some of the sealing wax, and I managed to put a clear coat of sealing wax on it, so that way, if you encounter any water, it should be a little bit more water resistant, and maybe won't get as many rust spots on it. She says, I've gotten everything ready for the trip, and the guards have informed me that the Lord is riding down to meet with the refugees now to make arrangements for the construction process, and that everything should be well underway here. So all we'll wait for now is to find out what we do next. And she goes walking over to the nightstand from where she was. There's this kind of like by the entrance to the room. There's this like cabinet and like, I guess a nightstand type situation over by the entrance room. And she picks up a tray and she walks over. And I hope you like coffee. I ordered coffee. And she puts it down, and there's like cream and lumps of sugar and everything set out for the coffee on the coffee tray. And there's a already poured cup of coffee that is poured just a bit below the lip of the coffee, so you can put as much stuff in it as you want.
Thank you. And good morning. Do you also like coffee?
She said, I had breakfast about an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
She says,
Sha-la-la-la-la-la. Stop it!
She says, I'll give you a few moments to get yourself attired. If you need help donning the armor, I should be able to help you. I asked my grandfather, and he gave me some tips on helping you get that on and off. He said it's a bit of a struggle for one person to get into it, so he says, but I'll give you 10 minutes or so and I'll be back. And she goes and steps out of the room. So what are the rest of you doing as you wake up in the morning? Aom and Grandpa, I do believe you had an appointment.
Oh yeah, as soon as the sun I'm picking up Aom and heading outside to like, I assume, with this being as nice of a place as it is, that there's like a square with some like trees and shit in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's in a U shape, so I assume they have a courtyard.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we're heading to the courtyard.
All right. So you go down, and there's a U-shaped drive in front, and it's not. I don't think it's a courtyard per se. It's more like on the either side of the U-shaped driveway, there's two large lawn areas that you guys could use. They're level, flat, grassy areas that you guys could use for practice and sparring.
Glorious. So, I've noticed at times you are getting better, which is awesome. But I have noticed at times you kind of give up when you have more inside you. So, hit me.
Aom's like tying his hands like with the wraps, and he looks up. Hit you.
Yes, hit me.
Anywhere specific? Just in general. Anywhere.
And my face is already pretty enough. We don't need to work on that.
Yeah, Aom gets into like a fighting ready stance and just like throws a punch right into Grandpa's side.
Val is down there watching this happen and also like writing in his journal.
Just roll the hit.
Oh, all right.
Like, if we're gonna do it, we might as well
doing it.
do
Okay.
it.
Roll.
To 19.
Because props.
Period.
Oh, come on.
I smack it aside again.
I like this. Oh, come on.
Oh wow.
At this point, I shove you back again.
Alright. Do I actually have to spend key for this?
At that point, it's the action surge, and I'm trying to piss you off.
Okay. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna spend a key just for myself because I don't think Aom's at that point. Like he's used to using
Fair enough.
like a key, so I'm cool with spending that.
I'll just be writing in my journal. Focus, Am. You've got this. You've got this. Still writing in my journal.
So, dun, 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 dun. Ray doesn't even have to make us fight. We're fighting each other.
Right.
I didn't technically roll for it. There we go. Okay.
Yo.
Doom. Finally a smack.
A hit. A most palpable
And
hit.
you are now confident and you are happy, right?
I guess.
Do it again.
I mean,
Do
okay.
it again.
And Aom just like takes a step back and like tries to throw his foot up and just like catch Grandpa either in the chin or like
Side of the head type
shoulder.
thing.
Yeah.
Nice. So you ducked under the swing from me.
Come on, old man.
Val makes this face.
So at this point, like this, and I will burn my action surge.
Dun dun dun.
That's not what I clicked at all.
Yeah. I burn my action swords and Foundry's like, no, you do not.
No.
Actually.
This is what you wanted to do. Foundry's like, don't you know how to play D&D?
Apparently not.
You're not allowed to play anymore. You don't know the proper way.
Ooh.
Cool. So
And you
Aom's like
I will
midday.
pull this, so it's half damage.
Yeah.
Or you
So
can just do
you're gonna take
subdual
the two.
instead of actual.
Huh?
You can always choose to do subdual on blunt attacks. You're punching him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can always choose to do subdual and blunt attacks. So
I don't know what that means.
subdual means you can do up to his hit points, and instead of being rendered dead, he's rendered unconscious.
I'm smacking him because he's not doing it right.
He's not doing it right.
Okay.
Aom was like mid saying like, "This is why orcs
do
don't
it
get old," as he
better.
like takes the hit across the face. All right. My character sheet hasn't updated, so we'll just assume I do action surge because my thing didn't work for some reason.
Gotcha.
And punch me another 2 times.
All right.
Val just shouts out, "You can do it!"
Nope.
Never mind.
Except not that time!
Come on.
Try
Yeah.
again!
There you go.
Final hit.
That's it!
And I think Aom's actually just gonna like pull the punch just short of Grandpa's face. Damn.
That is how you fight.
That felt good. And then he's just gonna like hit Grandpa on the chest, and he's gonna look over at Val. See?
You did it!
Now is it his
Did
turn?
that shit.
And he's like pointing
No.
at Val.
Nope, no, it's not.
You-
No, it is not.
I was like,
You're
nope.
not doing that this morning.
Not the, hey, Val is busy.
The best.
All right. So, what was your plans for the day after you get done with the sparring match and everything like that? Were you guys you found out that Lord Trask is going down to talk to them about getting everything set up with the work crews and everything like that. What was your next thing you're going to do? The only other thing he asked you to do was go out to the Darkwood.
I'm going to go and find Utopia and see where she is in her preparations, so that we can do that thing.
Do that
in the Darkwood.
Thing. Oh, right, the thing. Yes. The thing.
I'm going to go around town and look for a shop.
Ooh.
What type of shop?
So I'm looking for a set of Tinker's tools.
Okay, yeah.
With my level in fighter, I got a tool proficiency.
Gotcha.
So I want to get a set of Tinker's tools, because between those and the blacksmith tools, I can make the shit that I want to make.
Gotcha. All right, so you wander the streets a little bit, ask around a little bit. You finally find a gentleman. The symbol outside of the shop is a couple of gears interlocked together, with one of the gears looking like it's broken. And underneath it, and it says Bale's Clockworks. And when you go into the shop, the shop is full of clocks that are ticking, small little they're robotic, I guess, animatronics of little creatures moving and dancing. A lot of them are still, but you can tell some of them have been wound up, so they're actually functioning. There's one that's a picture of a man with boxing gloves boxing a bear, and the man throws little punches, and then the bear stands up and just smashes him flat, and then and then he pops back up, and the man throws a couple of punches, and then the bear smashes him flat. That just keeps happening over and over again. And so sitting behind the counter, as you come in, you hear a voice is like, "I'll be out in a sec." And from behind the counter, there's a door in a wall right behind the counter, and there's a curtain over the door, and the curtain comes back. The counter is about 3 feet high. The person coming off behind who comes through the curtain way, his shoulders fill the door frame, but you can only see the top of his head, which is brown graying hair that comes out in a top knot. And as he comes walking up the counter, you hear thumps as he climbs up 2 steps, and there is a broad-shouldered dwarf kind of sitting behind the counter. And as you come in, and he kind of looks up at you and he says, "Welcome to Bones. What can I get you?"
I'm looking for a set of tools.
He's like, "And what will these tools be for specifically?"
The help in crafting.
Intricate craftwork, general building supplies.
More intricate.
Excellent.
Not quite as intricate as what you do. My fingers are a little big for that.
And he holds out his hands, and his hands are almost as wide as yours, and his fingers are like huge muscular stumps on the end of his hand. He's like, "Everything I make in this shop is made with these hands. Never doubt yourself."
You are quite talented.
He's like, "I would say that it is given, but it is learned." He's like,
All great things in this life are.
He's like, "I think I know what you're referring to. I'm assuming you don't want anything as detailed as blacksmith's tools, but you want something more along the lines of maybe tinkering?"
Yes.
It's like, "I think I have a couple of things that I could put together to make you a good, decent set out of my some of the ones that I've been replacing." He says, "I'll give you a good deal on it." He says, "Give me a moment. I'm going to go gather things off my bench."
When he leaves,
Mm-hmm.
outside of the clockwork trinkets, is there anything else in the store?
There's nothing on the counters that are out in the main area where you're standing. And by the way, by main area, it's not a huge storefront. It looks like most of the store is taken up with what's behind the curtain, behind the wall. But on the wall, behind the counter, and by the way, there is one of those little flip-up doors on the end of the counter to the right-hand side, but the counter bisects the entire room. Behind the counter, there's two walls on either side of that doorway that goes through with the curtain over it. On those walls, there are glass cases that are, they're slid closed. Or actually, they're glass cases and lead frames, and the doors are closed. Inside those cases, there are a lot of items in there that look like they're made of very fine materials, gold, spun gold, copper, brass. There's a lot of crystal implements in them. There is, you can't really identify what half of them, even a quarter of them, do, but they all look very detailed, very intricate. And there's like on each shelf, there's like 3 on each shelf. And there's 3 shelves, so there's 9 of them on the right, and there's 9 of them on the left. Then they're all different.
Okay.
So after a few minutes, he comes back out, and he's got a tool pouch, and he's been slipping last item in. He's like, I think this should be a pretty complete set of tools that you would need for working on tinkering. He says, I tell you what. I don't really... These, as I said, I've already been replacing most of these. And so this is not a new set, as you'd say. But I would say that I could give this to you for 15 gold. He's like, but it is a fairly complete set, so you would be able to utilize it for just about anything you need for minor craftings.
That is a done deal.
This is very good. It is, I have not seen you before. I'm assuming you're part of the crew that came in and riled things up.
It is common.
This is common. He kind of chuckles. He says, very good. He says, and I assume that you're going to be leaving again soon, as is the nature of adventurers.
More than likely.
He says, if it's not too much trouble, what exactly are you going to be doing? As much as you care to divulge.
Riling things up, of course.
Yes, but where?
I do not know. I am just following the rest of them.
Ah, well then. I hope you have success in all your adventures, sir. He says,
Can you tell me of those items?
He kind of looks at his shoulders. He's like, these are very specialty items. They're the type of thing that if you walk into the shop and you recognize one of them, you will know exactly what they are. He says, these are items that are used by practitioners of the arts. They're used for many different things. He says, this item, and he gestures to the one in the bottom right case, which is a large, it has a large brass hoop, and inside the hoop, it looks like it's a flat disc of crystal. It's still multifaceted. And he says, and then that's on a stand, which mounts into the base. On the other side of that stand, there is what looks to be an elaborate candle holder, and there is a candle in it that looks like it's golden in color, and the wick coming out of the top of it is bright red. And he says, this is a life's blood candle. He says, in the right hands, this can be utilized to restore someone who has been rendered unable to function. He says, but there, as with all things that are not directly related to the gods or magic itself, it comes at a price.
all-powerful weapons have a price, do they not?
He says, they do. He says, in the right hands, this item will restore life to one person. Once. But the cost is the bearer of the device must be willing to make the same sacrifice.
Always an even trade.
It is the balance. It must be maintained. So he says, oh, posture check from Rome. Ow.
Specifically for me.
This is
Like
really
the worst posture.
use a sloucher.
You're just full shrimp.
I can put my legs behind my head if we want.
Ooh.
We'll leave that for a completely different stream. Once again, Dinner and a Game OnlyFans will be opening soon.
I was literally about to say subscribe to our OnlyFans.
But anyway, so he says, but again, it is only usable by certain people who are in the arts. The candle must be lit with a certain spell.
Well, it is far beyond my realm of expertise.
It is perfectly understandable. Had you pointed at an object and said, I need that, and you had told me why, then I would have understood as well. This is, but most people don't know these items, and most of these items are actually made for people who have requested them and they have not picked them up yet. But if you ever need services of some kind of nature that you feel require access to devices and powers you may not have direct access to, let me know. That might be able to be arranged.
So, I have an interesting one for you.
Certainly, I'm always willing to look at challenges.
You seem to be a man of cogs and gears, as it is. I mean you no harm. I'm gonna reach into my belt and pull the short sword out and set it on the counter.
He's like, oh, amazing work.
I cannot claim credit for it.
He looks at it. He's like, ah, yes, I see this maker's mark on it.
So, my question is, could you take the hilt off of this and weave gears to make it to where it will fold out? Then I'm gonna pull the thigh bone off my back and lay that on out of this section here. So that all I have to do to get this particular blade out is almost, you've seen those little flip knives, right? The little pig stickers that most of the kids have.
He kind of like goes like, he reaches behind the counter and he pulls up he pulls out a thing and he like holds up a cylinder looking device and he like, you just see, you hear a click, you don't see his hand move, and a spike comes out of it, and he's like, that,
like that,
and you hear another click and the spike goes back in. Oh,
can you do that with these?
With something this large, perhaps, but it would not flip out. It would fire out, much like this one does. And I would have to replace much of the inner structure of the bone with mechanics, so I'd have to reinforce the inside of the bone with some kind of alloy or metal. In order for, I'm assuming you want to be able to swing this as well as have this blade pop out.
Correct.
I see you also carry a glaive, so I only assumed. He says, so, I could do this. He says, it would take me some time. And he looks at the bone and he says, this is dragon bone, is it not?
Yes.
I would do this in trade for all the powdered bone that is created from this.
Done.
He's like, this will take me several weeks. This is very delicate work. I do not want to weaken the structure of the bone to where it cannot be utilized. He's like, would you like me to taper this more into a readily handled weapon? I would remove the nobules on the end. I would make it more able to be utilized and make it a straighter piece rather than curved.
Yes, that there is a lot that is going to go into this.
I don't want to take it away from the purpose that you intended for. I just know that what you're describing is a weapon that is at least a thrusting weapon, which indicates that it must take tensile strength, so it has to be more of a straight cylinder rather than curved, because if it's curved, it could break.
Completely understood.
So I was going to straighten it, basically, by carving it down.
Of course. Ken, if you are going to be taking that much time, can you also weave an enchantment into it?
And kind of like, what type of enchantment?
Surprise.
He says, this blade is already enchanted, so whatever feature this blade has on it, and by the maker's mark I can but guess, but whatever feature this blade has on it will still function completely. I'm not even going to alter the blade that much. It's not necessary. He says, what we're talking about here is, do you want some kind of enchantment put on the actual haft, which doesn't seem to be a functional situation, because there's nothing on the other end.
That is what these are for. And I'm going to pull out the incisors.
And he says, an interesting choice. He's like, I can make some kind of arrangement for this, but unfortunately, my normal contact who takes care of the arcane portions of these projects, has not been readily available. Mainly because the airships are no longer flying. The cost would be fairly steep because he would have to find another way of getting here, which is going to be more difficult. Or I would have to get to him. One or the other.
For now, can we settle on making the blade into the weapon?
Absolutely.
And can you attach the teeth as well?
I can definitely attach them. They'll just be spikes.
Until we can get better than that was what we do.
Understood. It says 2 weeks.
For your time. And I'll put another 2 of the regular teeth onto the counter for it.
So he kind of takes the teeth and he's like, bone dust and teeth? If you have scales, then we could definitely talk.
I do.
Kind of stops and looks at you and raises an eyebrow. You should have mentioned that in the first place.
With those.
He says, what color are the scales?
Black, right?
Technically,
No,
yes.
it was red, but it was necrotic, right?
Yeah, because it's shadow. It's a shadow
Yeah.
dragon. And he
So I
kinda-
relay that to him.
He says, "Oh, I've not worked with that material before. I don't know what the shadow is or what it changes on the aspects. So I need to make sure that they're still function as dragon scale, have the same hardness and resiliency." He's like, "But I have crafted several shields, and I know that when those shields are crafted, that they give resistance or immunity, resistance to the weapon of choice of that species. So, as in a red dragon, the shield or armor gives resistance to fire. So, I don't know what a red shadow dragon would give you resistance to, if at all. But yeah, I'd have to see the scales first."
I pull a scale out.
He's like, "Are you a walking necropsy for a dragon?"
I look at the different like pieces of dragon that I like literally have around me, like basically it is what we do.
He's like, he takes the scale and he kind of looks at it and holds it up. He's like, "Young one." He says, he kind of like, he literally takes the scale and he's like, "It's a risk. Do you mind?" He like tries to bend it. It flexes a little, doesn't bend that far. He puts it on the edge of the counter and he just takes his hand and he looks at you and he goes and slams his hand down on the scale and it kind of just like bounces off. He's like, "Nope, that's gonna work." And he kind of cat just knocked things over. He kind of holds it up and he says, "I don't know what they would do because these look like they look like dragon scale, but something has changed on it." He says, "I can fashion armor or shields out of this." He says, "But I can't guarantee what it's going to give you an ability for wearing this." Now, also, always remember, when you adorn yourself with this raiment, you make yourself an enemy to this species. They recognize these weapons.
I have you heard the stories of the dragon gods?
I don't think so.
The elite warriors of my clan are bedecked in dragon bone and scale armor. We hunt as the greatest journey these fearsome creatures.
He's like, I did not know this, but it makes sense why you want these adornments. He says, if this, I just wanted to make sure that I let you know in case you didn't. And he says, but yes, I can craft.
Can you craft it into the bow?
The scales? Oh, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking a piece of armor. And I don't know if it would do the same thing in the bone. I could try. And if I can't, at most you'd be out as a few scales.
Let us see. It is a journey for us both then.
Absolutely. I am definitely willing to give my best efforts. He
I look
says,
forward to speaking with you.
very well.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. And your name was?
Groundhog.
Ah. This is, again, Baal. And he says, I will see you in 2 weeks, my friend.
You shall.
And he kind of looks at you and, oh, if you don't show up in 1 year, ownership falls to me.
Understood.
Very well. May you come back in 2 weeks, and may you be truly blessed with my creation.
I look forward to it,
He's like,
and I will depart.
alright.
Thank you.
No problem. So, you guys, what are the rest of you doing?
Gonna make me some shit.
I mean, I know Utopia is just gay panicking, but I don't think that's a surprise to anyone.
No, not at all.
No.
So you know that you got a short trip to make it back to your lodge, the hunting lodge. Are you guys going to do anything else while you're doing that? Are you going to take anything else out there? You are provided, like, you can take a wagon out there. You're supposed to be setting this up kind of as a base camp to launch forays out into the dark wood. So the guard shows up and they have a camp loaded up with supplies. And by supplies, I mean, like, hardtack and, stuff to last you for a while, and stuff like that. And there is a unit of guard and a bunch of laborers that are going up with you because they're going to harvest that crop under guard while they're there. And they're going to be pretty close to your house, so if anything really bad happens, hopefully someone can make it back and bring you guys over while they're doing that. It's going to take them the better part of a day to harvest that field. Huh? What was that?
I said I definitely go with them, and
Well, that means you're going to take yet another day before you can start going out into the Darkwood. And the big thing is they're going to go and they're going to harvest that field, and then they're coming straight back. So they're taking your wagon, they're taking a wagon to carry the laborers in it. The troops are marching, and then they're taking 2 more dry wagons, which are basically empty wagons, to carry back all the wheat that was in the field, so they can bring it back for the mill.
I'd instruct them since Grandpa offered it and I would assume that Grandpa would have told us about this when he got back to the hotel that night. Instruct him to at least stop by the manor, grab the meat that Grandpa offered, and take that back with him as well.
Got it. And they can definitely do that.
yeah, no, I figure if we're gonna be setting up a base camp and so forth up there anyways, like, I have no problem watching over, like, with the guards and making sure that while they harvest and pitch in to help harvest, that they aren't befallen.
Well, that's what I was saying. If you're going to do that, it's going to take... Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Yay!
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, it's going to take you the better part... It's going to take you that entire day, because they're going to have to be harvesting the entire time. Oh, thank you very much for the raid, all my dear sis. How you doing? That is... I don't know if I'm sure you guys have seen him on TikTok. Milagros and Val, you may have seen him. That's the blind GM.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, hello. Welcome.
Oh, hello, sir. How you doing? So are you willing to take that extra time before you guys start going out into the dark wood? Or are you going to sit there and watch and help guard the process as they basically harvest this field in an area is heavily infested with trolls?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys make arrangements as you get back from this. It's
I've got 2 weeks of time that I need to kill, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, I have to take Camille on an actual date, so like...
This is to date, Milagros.
No, like an actual date. She said that I could take her to, like... You missed it. That I could take her to, like, a dinner that wasn't involved with, like, any of our adventuring.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, we're gonna go harvest a field.
Because their first
No, not the...
because their first date was literally more like an estate dinner than it was a date.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to have a date when your dad's there.
Yep, absolutely.
When Dad's there, and then Dad summons a naked dude, and also
Dad
Grandpa
summons a naked
sees
dude.
God for a
It
second and
wasn't
throws
for
up.
you.
I would have
Alright.
serenaded you too if you did the both of you if you'd let me, but no,
No.
that's too embarrassing.
All right, so you guys make arrangements. The guard, everyone's assembled. By the time everything is assembled, by the time you go down and have that conversation with that gentleman and find his shop and everything like that, it is like closing up on noon anyway. So you guys start heading out. Everyone comes out. They get to your estate. They don't even go to the farm first. They go to the estate first. You guys get set up at the estate. Everyone kind of gets situated. All the supplies for the estate get unloaded. The guard, and they bring in, like, everyone's like sets up in the like kind of like when all the refugees were in there. Everyone kind of sets up to they're gonna be sleeping in the living areas and everything like that. And the guards like we'll start the harvest right. We got a few hours of daylight left. We'll head over there in a little bit. We'll start the harvest tonight. Hopefully, if we get enough done today or this afternoon, we'll start the harvest. Hopefully, if we get enough done, then we'll finish up tomorrow and we'll take it back to town. He says, "So, is there anything else we should be aware of while we're out here?" Trolls.
Sometimes trolls have 5 arms.
Yeah.
Noted. I did not know that there was going to be multi-armed trolls here. That's disturbing.
Yeah, it can be.
He says, I know you said you were going to help guard, so we're going to, now that everyone seems to be situated, we've still got like 3 or 4 hours of daylight left. We're going to head over there. We've got the tools. We're going to start the harvest now. If you guys are going to help watch out over the workers, then you can come down there with us now. If not, then, I guess it's only a few minutes run back and forth. Hopefully, if anything bad happens, we can get someone back to summon you all. And he says, so, are you coming or are you staying?
And I'm going to snag Val for a second.
Yes.
And I'm going to lead him towards the cellar that we came out of.
Right, we gotta close that shit.
Yes.
So, you have the ability to make things crumble by just really high voice, right? It's almost a screech.
Yes.
Aim right there at the top of the arch. And Grumpbach's gonna cover his ears.
I'm assuming he's asking you to cast a shatter.
Yes.
Yep, that's exactly what he's doing.
Yes.
All right. And I will kind of focus on the arch, taking a deep breath, and I will basically one of because I'm not going to do it on stream because
Thank you so much.
That's going to get loud.
I was about to say I'm putting my volume down real low.
But when Prince does his scream, that's what I do at the arch.
Gotcha. All right. So I don't know if they get a saving throw because it's basically an inanimate object.
It's an inanimate object, so I'm assuming not.
So, and you do double damage with shatter to structures.
Well, now
You didn't know
I
that?
should roll.
My madness, sir.
So,
I felt like I did know that, but I've rarely seen shatter used in this way. So.
shatter is literally a demolition spell. It is designed to demolish things.
All right,
Destroy
I'm
objects
gonna go
for the
ahead
most
and
part. Yeah,
roll
see,
that beautiful gold
a non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes the damage as if it's in the spell's area, and then it does thunder damage, 10 foot. Materials such as stone, crystal, or metal they have a saving throw. A creature made of inorganic material has disadvantage on the saving throw.
The archway.
there you go.
So I know
I don't
this
think it
worked
does.
because I watched Rome do it to an obsidian door a couple weeks back, and just
Nice.
I kicked it twice with my barbarian and the door didn't shatter, and he just pointed at it and it shattered. That's not double damage.
So no, I just rolled the plain damage, and then doubling that'll be 12.
Gotcha. So you screech, and at the top of the stone buttress, it cracks, dust rains down, but it holds.
Okay, then I am going to try it again at a higher level.
Thank you, Vargi. Go for it.
Wait, Vargey's here?
Yeah, he's in chat.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Vargey!
What?
He's been here the entire show, dude. You owe him several fuck yous because he's been here for a long time and he's been
Yeah.
talking.
You gotta catch up.
Yeah, he said, I have been here, sir.
You get 2 birdies as your present, buddy.
And he says, fuck you, Ushi.
We're gonna do it at
But he's not Ushi
Fourth
here, Vargi.
level.
He's Grandpa here.
Which means I'm a grumpy fucker here.
All right, so did you roll it?
I'm rolling it now.
All right.
And we're gonna roll it as normal and then double it.
That's a lot of damage. That's 36
So that's
damage.
gonna be 36.
All
Yeah.
right. So the second time, you kind of like you do it the first time, and you're like, and it shatters, and then you glare at it the second time, and you like put
Yeah.
everything you got into the next one. The stone arch is just pulverized. The keystone gone. The arch starts collapsing in on itself. As the arch collapses in, all the brick and mortar that's being holding in place begins collapsing in. When the brick and mortar that's holding in place begins collapsing in, the rock above that, which has been being held in place or being helped supported by all that at that time, begins collapsing in. Right about that time, you realize that there is ground somewhere up above this. And so you see dirt and rock begins falling in, dropping into the hole. Dirt starts raining in, and as the dirt fills in this place and everything like that, you see that the wall around the area, kind of like of the basement, kind of falls outwards and into this little hole, and there's now a gap at the top of the basement wall where the rubble is, that you can look out, and as the dust settles, you can see out into the sky. So there's now a hole in the basement.
What did me and Utopia hear from that side?
First time you heard a screeching screech sound, and then there was a dull thump in the house. The second time, there was an incredibly loud screech that sounded like it was coming up through the floor, and the house shook.
What are they
At this
doing?
point, you think there's a fucking banshee running around down there.
Yeah. Controls do that? Is that?
I don't honestly know.
Grompak walks up from the cellar, patting dust off his fucking armor.
Yeah. Val's doing the same.
Oh. Oh.
What happened?
We solved that problem, but there's a new skylight.
In the basement.
Oh. Right.
Yeah, we sealed off the the tunnel. The tunnel.
Nothing is going to be able to move that then.
No, I should think not.
All right.
Sorry. Side note: the little image for Shatter is just awesome.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
It's
Blowing somebody's patella.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Oh.
Ow, ow,
There's even a kneecap.
Ow. Oh my god.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I know
horrible.
what I'm using it for next time.
That hurts to look at.
Sorry, I don't think you guys can see it. I'll bring it up. But there's a little symbol on the shatter spell in the casting thing, and it's basically a kneecap being obliterated.
Yeah.
All right,
Quite
so
glory.
all right, so you guys are you collapse the tunnel. You created an opening into the basement, but you did collapse the tunnel. So what are you gonna
I'm
do
sure
now?
we can build a something there and put some stairs going down. Like it'll be fine. We'll make it aesthetically pleasing. It'll be fine.
Create an exterior entrance into the basement for this.
Exactly.
Spring entrance.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a door.
Oh no, let it go. Let it go.
Are we sure it's not going to be a winter entrance? Because I mean,
Let
the winter's
it
coming.
go.
But the snow might bury it.
I mean, the cold never bothered me
You're not
anyway.
supposed
Oh
to come
god!
here.
Oh
You're not
no!
supposed to come here in the winter. This isn't
my
for
line.
winter.
So, you guys get set up. The guards escort the workers down to the farm. They begin harvesting. I'm assuming you guys go with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very simple situation. You guys are just walking around and making sure that keeping your eyes out anywhere but in the field. All the workers start harvesting and stuff, busheling up the grain. Some of them are hewing the wheat. Others are busheling everything up. And the guards are basically, there's several of them posted around the field, and then there's a walking patrol that goes around checking on them. You guys kind of just you help out where you can, but for the most part, everyone wants you to have weapons ready in case anything happens. At first, the workers are very nervous. They're looking around all the time. So are the guards. But after the first hour or so, when nothing happens, the workers get very much into the working mentality, and they're kind of nose to the grindstone, trying to get as much done as possible. The guards stay pretty much on point, but they also are kind of looking around and not being as vigilant as they were in the beginning, and some of the guards even help out a little bit with the farming chores and everything like that. But everyone tries to stay as alert as possible. But nothing happens. Everything is bundled up. Everyone gets escorted back to the house. The farmers go down, and everyone kind of settles in for the evening. Beds down. You guys gonna post a watch? Actually, no.
Absolutely.
With the guards and everything else like that, the watch is already handled, and they actually, because you got a squad of men, so there's a dozen of them. What was that?
Nice.
I said I'm still gonna sit watch.
Okay.
I still think that we should have at least one of our party with each watch.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
Just we have these people basically being guests at this point. We might as well make sure that one of us is present to wake the rest of us up in case of fucking troll moments.
So that's not a problem. Even with one of you guys sitting on watch, each one of you, and that's 5 of you because I'm counting Rome as being here, or counting Shugash as being here. So it's 5 of you taking 2-hour shifts. It's not a problem. You guys, nothing happens in the night. No untoward noises, no bumps going in the night. And the morning comes with the dawn. Everyone is up with the dawn. Everyone is hurried over to the fields. The hands make not quick work. It's a decent sized field, but the hands get the field, everything taken care of. Just as it's coming up on dusk. And the sun's lowering on the sky and about to hit that horizon. They get the last of the bushels loaded up in the wagons. They ride with you guys back up to the house. They run inside and get all the haunches of the beef of the elk that you had, and they bring those out to the wagonettes as well. And the sergeant that was in charge of the troops comes up and says, "Did you want us to leave anyone here with you?"
The more hands to help with the lumber and to help build are better. I do not think that we need your help. Correct, friends?
I would agree with that. I think we've got this well in hand.
And don't forget to take a long rest for your characters as you use spells.
Yes.
Yeah. And me and Aom did to get our...
Yeah, I just noticed that Sphinx hasn't done it, or Val hasn't done it, so... Alright, so... Ta-da! So basically, they see that they look around and he kind of says, "Very well." He says, "We will get back and with this," and he kind of looks at you and he says, "Good luck and good hunting."
Thank you.
Indeed.
And the guy kind of looks solemnly at you all, and he goes nods, and he goes out, and he jumps up in the wagon cart, and all the rest of the wagon train pulls out. So you guys are left at the hunting lodge on the edge of the dark wood.
I will lean over to Aeon. I don't think that gentleman thought that we were going to make it.
Yeah. That.
Did
I don't
you
know
get
if I
that
should be
vibe?
insulted by that.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to proving him wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I
I'm
don't want
used
to
to it.
not make it back.
He says, so you guys are sitting there, and it's already dusk, so I'm assuming you don't want to go into the dark woods at night.
No.
Preferably not.
But it is, since the dark wood was originally like a couple of days hike from here, you do know that eventually you're going to have to move through this place at night.
At night. Yeah.
Or camp in this place at night. So
Look at me, I'm swabbing the bathroom. Hey.
So if you go through this, so when you guys get everything set up for the night, are you posting the same watch again, 2 hours each?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. So you guys set up watch, take another long rest. Dawn comes uneventfully again. No encounters, no weirdness, no bumps in the night. You guys wake up, and the morning is here. You know that you can just take about a couple hours walk and be at the edge of the dark. Well, be where the old forest turns into the dark wood. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to start heading out, or?
Utopia.
Yes.
Do you remember when we were on our way to town and there was that little girl that said welcome home to you?
Yes.
Did she give you her name?
Checking.
It's like he tests her. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, here we go.
Can I catch her this time?
Well, here's the thing: is usually if I don't have a name, it's because the name wasn't given. Okay, gotta go further back.
Milagros, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most amazing note takers you will ever. Oh, thank you very much for the follow, Lost Spam. By the way, I'm sorry, I forgot. With the Raiders who came in, if you follow this channel, you will be entered to win a prize we're giving away when we hit 1K followers. And that prize is this set of books. It is a D&D 5e set that we're giving away when we hit 1K followers on this channel. We're giving this away to one winner. It is the foil embossed covers, so it doesn't look like the standard set, so you'll be able to tell them apart at the book game store. It comes with the player's guide, the monster's manual, and the DMG, plus the GMG screen in that black slipcover sleeve. I actually have it sitting right here beside me. It's just really heavy. And we're going to be sending that to one winner. We're also going to be sending another one out.
I have it.
Oh, good. Excellent. We're also going to send another one out when we hit 100 followers on YouTube, so we can get our channel branded. So the links are in our link tree. And if you go there, follow us on YouTube, follow us here, and of course, if you follow us on TikTok, you'll be entered in the contest to win the giant 3D printed Wizard's Tower. All right, thank you very much.
The way that I see it is, I remember the bits of the story and can kind of connect dots. And when I connect those dots, it's like, okay, Utopia, I know you took this shit fucking verbatim.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I could probably tell you which episode it was or how many weeks ago it was and about where in the story it happened, but I don't remember her name.
Yeah, her name is Agatha Garlroot. Yeah.
So, if this is home, would she not be a guide if we needed one?
Wasn't she the one who said her brothers were essentially trolls?
Yes, that they're laying dead in the backyard. We should probably walk away from here before we try to summon her. But it is a possible guide through to wherever your home is, and why they called it your home.
I'm thinking that maybe it has to do more with her bio dad being kind of ridiculous and
You're not wrong, but it is probably a safe way for us to get to.
Oh, I'm not arguing that at all. Yes, I agree. But just saying, the root cause is probably because of her biodad being.
So is everything, apparently.
Yes, unfortunately.
Wow,
And
that's
he didn't even exist for most of her life.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Anyways,
I'm not sure how I would summon her, though.
Maybe we go to that same spot and.
that would be my guess, at least. Sorry for cutting you off now.
No, you're quite alright. Essentially the same idea I had, but you know.
There
Yeah,
are
like
times
swings
when
and
I
back.
don't know when to stop talking.
Usually that's my problem.
That is why you are the distraction.
Maybe I should just have my wings outright then? She
Remember,
said
they
that-
don't last.
Yeah, they don't last. You might want to save
I
those.
think they only
Save
last a
those
minute.
then. Oh, then I definitely have to save them.
Yeah. You can only do that once a day.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
I
Flying.
say we go into the forest and speak her name and see if she comes.
Oh.
There
That's
is.
not creepy at all.
Yeah,
Go in the forest and call a little girl.
I'll be flippant with it. Ned. I
A
don't
little
know if
girl
I like that too
allegedly.
much.
She had illusion on her.
She has a
Allegedly.
really old lady kind of name.
Yeah, she had a
Yeah,
voice
yeah,
that
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
wasn't a little girl at one point. Okay, should I call her?
Are you gonna head out into the woods?
Probably not
It's
here.
Yeah, let's head
Okay.
into the woods and not be around the home where the dead
Yeah.
orcs are.
They are trolls, not orcs.
Trolls.
I-
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. I
was
apologize. I apologize.
You have insulted their honor.
That was
I
racism.
am. I'm tired. I have not had my tea.
That was
Aw.
fantasy racism.
Fantasy racism.
Uh,
God.
No.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you?
Okay, we're all tired. We're gonna stop that right now. All right, so you guys start heading out into the forest. Question: which direction are you going?
I would
Same way we went
suggest
the last time.
exactly like going towards the
The direction the
Towards
trolls came from, basically.
Trask. Yeah,
yeah.
All right.
like pretty much that same area where we saw the girl the first time.
Oh, she was on the road to Trask, but
Yeah,
that's
no,
going.
that's the
That's
thing.
going away from the dark.
She was on the road to Trask. I think we
Oh.
should go in, but like away from Trask.
Okay, yeah, that's a
The
good
trolls, the direction, because remember, the trolls followed you back from when you were hunting, and you
Yeah.
were hunting towards the south of the house.
So, question.
Mm-hmm.
In her father's study, is there a map of the area?
There is a map up on the wall, but it is kind of done more of an artistic scale than an accurate scale, because it shows the dark wood, it shows the vale, which is the valley, and it shows where the hunting lodge should be. It shows the ridge, which goes along the northern edge of the vale. It shows the swamp, which is down towards the southern end of the vale, which is where the dark wood actually is, and the river that runs into Trask. The river runs up from the vale, well, because it's running downhill from the mountainsides. It runs up into the vale and then goes around the estate, curves up north, and then comes back down into Trask. And then there's a road that goes down from the estate, the hunting lodge. Out here, other than the hunting lodge, there's a couple of other noble estates out in this area that have different roads coming up from Trask to them. And you can tell when you're... Go ahead.
Based on the information from that map, I can assume and looking around outside, I can assume where the dark wood has spread from, like what general direction.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So heading towards the heart, I would assume.
Yes.
would be
Okay.
our destination. Like then we're heading south.
South by southwest. No, east. South by southeast. All
There's
right.
no map, so
Yeah, no,
I'm
No.
just taking the information you're giving me and running with it.
no giant map. Yeah. All right. So you guys start walking, and it takes you about an hour. But as you're walking, the trees are, just a normal wood. It's coniferous forest. Tall pine trees. Interspersed, there is a lot of old growth here. There's not the lumber industry is prevalent up here, so there's a lot of old growth here, old trees. As you're moving through, you have this. There's really not a lot of noise. There's animal sounds, but not a ton. It's daytime, so it's not as active. And your footfalls are incredibly muffled because you're walking across that vast sheet of pine needles that litters the floor in this area underneath these canopies. As you keep on moving through this area and you keep on walking in that general direction, trying to keep a straight line as possible, but it gets hard to navigate because can't see the sun, can't see the sky. The light that comes down through here, it's kind of like, it's basically dim light under the tree canopy, because the light that comes down here is heavily blocked out and filtered by the overhanging foliage. You get to a point where you're going through the trees and you come up into this area where you can see light ahead of you. And you come up and there is this clear, and this is after having walked like a couple of hours, there's this clear line where all the standard coniferous growth trees looks like they just fallen over dead. And there is this dark, the light tannish, the light greenish gray color of the floor turns into this malted green black. And ahead of you, instead of a forest of pine trees continuing on after this gap, there's a gap about 10 yards. And then on the other side of the gap, there is this gnarled forest of twisted trees of all types and description. Oaks, maples, birches, but they're all twisted. And that forest is nowhere near as tall as the pine forest you're in right now, but that forest is also incredibly dense. Like, you can't see a trail. All the ground you can see is littered with thicket, brambles, undergrowth, incredibly dense shrubs. Unlike where you're moving through now, where you can barely hear the sounds of, like, you can hear birds occasionally flitting through the trees, you can hear squirrels. Ahead of you is a cacophony. There are screams of animals being killed. There are birds flapping through the trees constantly. Things are always moving. You see, like, insects floating around. There's flies and gnats always buzzing. There's mosquitoes. And there is just all kinds of motion and sound. And the dark wood seems utterly alive and without stillness.
Oh,
So how about them airships?
man, yeah, airships sound really, really nice right about now.
And for Sergeant Stakis, this is the carnivorous forest.
We found it.
We found it.
Oh, there it is. It's going to.
Oh, I
be
hate
nice.
it. Okay, I'm assuming, if Aom isn't gonna climb onto my back to avoid all that.
It's not water. It's not swamp. It's just.
Oh, I know. Just
You're
like the
not going to be able to
brambles
avoid it either. You cannot walk through this. Someone is going to have to go forward and trailblaze. Do you know what that is?
Oh wait,
That's where you-
could I do that with the shield? Like squish it?
Nope.
Oh,
You
man.
have to cut it.
Well, I have
Oh,
a hammer,
boy.
so
Aeon
Can't
just
squish
looks at
it.
his hands like,
Nah.
You have to use like a machete or something to cut through it, or you have to walk around this gap and see if you can find a game trail to follow.
It's like my rapier's not gonna do shit against this.
Nope.
We're all just looking at Grandpa.
You're right. Like.
So you guys sit there.
Any ideas, big guy?
Everyone just turns around and looks at you.
Burn it.
Burn it.
I mean, I was thinking that you know.
All right.
Get rid
So
of the trolls.
we are at the edge of the dark wood. You spent 3 hours walking here. You are presented with a odd conundrum. How do you enter a forest that has no entrance? And I think we can go ahead and wrap it up for the night, folks. Yeah, right as Val's gonna blast something. All right, so what I started blasting. All right, well, guys, thank you so much for being here this evening.
Fired. Fired again.
Remember, we are doing the contest giveaways. Next show is going to be our Tuesday show for the for Emerald Sanctums, which is our World of Darkness open world game. We are going to be doing that on Tuesdays. But remember, we're taking the week of Thanksgiving off, so we have 2 more shows of that. Then we're taking a week off, and we have 2 more episodes of Kingdoms of Mist, and then we're taking a week off. And we're going to be doing the Emerald Sanctums on Tuesday night starting at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Kingdoms of Mist is now changing to 7:30 Central Standard Time as well, to give people some time to at least to give our West Coasters some time to get home and actually maybe get a sandwich, get a Sammy in. But we're going to be doing that. We're doing that starting now, and hopefully, I was telling the cast on this, we're going to be changing our medium for our video calls, because I may have finally found a way to do closed captioning. So I'm gonna have to change up the overlays and everything like that, and I'm gonna need some of you guys to be able to help me to test this out. So because I'm gonna need like several people on the call. But all that being said, we will be back in 1 week with the next episode of Kingdoms of Mist. I thank everyone for attending tonight. If you want to find all our links for all our contests that are not here on Twitch, go to the link tree, find the links in there. Remember, on YouTube, we're giving away a set of the D&D books. Here, we're giving away a set of the D&D books. TikTok, we're giving away the tower. And every week during the game, we'll give away a mini at the break. So, we love you very much. Let's see who we can raid. Any suggestions? Raid channel.
ADH Adventures is on.
ADH Adventures is on?
Secrets of the Alchemist.
And also,
UST show.
please.
Also what?
Gotta update my word count before midnight. I'm trying to update my word count every single day this month.
What is UST doing?
Smite.
Oh, they're playing a video
ADH
game.
Adventures is doing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, we'll hit ADH.
Yeah.
Milagros, can we go raid now?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't. You said you said like wait a minute or something like that, and I was like,
Oh,
I don't
like,
know if
I
Milagros
was-
has something else to say.
No.
All right. Well, thank everyone for attending tonight. We really appreciate it. At the end of the game, we always save you a seat at the table. We want you to join us at the table next week. Please be careful out there. Wear a mask when you can. Stay away from people. 6 feet is not far enough. People are terrible. Make sure you come back and see us next time. And we love you. And we will see you in 1 week for Kingdoms in Mist. And in 6 days, we will see you for Emerald Sanctums. Enjoy your time. We will see you again. We love you, and good night.
There's a reason why we do this through video call.
What? Yeah, well, it's safer. It is definitely safer to do this over a video medium.
Fair, it'd be really hard to meet in person. Traveling across the border every time.
Every week.
Yeah, right. I didn't have to think about that. I didn't even think about that one from you. But G fucking G.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.